Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar about about rural youth in decision making. So, as you know, this webinar will be in English, but we have settled the option of the written subtitles in case it's easier for some of us. It will be recorded in order to share some parts of the presentations and especially from the roundtables. And according to the registration, we will be a lot of participants, normally more than 80, uh, and from 17 countries of all Europe. So we will be from Spain, but also Belgium, Portugal, Sweden, Greece, and even Turkey or Georgia. Most of us, it's true, we are linked with the leader and local action groups or regional national networks, but we will have also some representatives from enterprises, associations, or even managing authorities. From the 20s to the 60s, 60 years, I mean. So this is a positive fact because that means that generational renewal in this decision making, it's a shared concern by all of us. Before we start with the roundtable, so the interesting part, we will have two small presentations. The first one about the Leader Youth Network and the other one about some results of two surveys that we did from the Spanish Network for Rural Development. So not to steal you more time, I will give the floor directly to Piotr, one of the coordinators of the Leader Youth Network, who will explain us a little bit about this new structure and how we can join it. So thank you, Piotr, for being here, and the floor is yours.
Hello, thank you. My name is Piotr. I come from Poland, and I'm like you introduced me, member of the steering committee of the Youth Leader Network. Yeah, and I'll briefly give a presentation about our network. I hope it will be informative for you, and I'll try to be as brief as possible because I know the agenda for today is very busy and it's very interesting. So I don't want to steal any more time for the speakers. So starting with the was like information about our network. We are the community collecting over 100. Here I have a slide with the members. Over 150 members, so close to 200, coming from 25 or more European countries and representing over 100 different organizations. We are young people, all of us somehow involved in the leader program and local action group and rural development. So here I have the timeline of and a brief history of our community and how the network was established. First, we started with in June in Finland when the EU CAP network was produced and gave us opportunity to meet with each other, talk about the important topics, inviting us to the Young Leader Forum, which then evolved over the course of the time of the vacation. And in September, we had the first kickoff meeting of our network. It took place online, and during the meeting, we established few main ideas and tried to present ourselves in order to select the members of the steering committee. Then we talked about the action steps and representatives of certain groups. Then in October, we had the first meeting of the steering committee with the stakeholders, where we talked about forming the network and making it visible in Europe and how we structure our work. So then November also structure of the steering committee was further established. And in December, we conducted the first activity of ourselves. It was the survey, during which we sent out the questions to all of the members where they answered what are the most important topics that they would like our network to focus on during the following year. And one of them was also a topic of today's webinar. And according to these results of the survey, we are conducting our work during this year. Then in February, we had introduced the new member system. we shall talk about a bit later, but just to give you an overview, we have a very good member system where during the registration you can choose what role you would like to play in our network. And then the next event was the first webinar of our network about mental health and well-being. It's happening in March, and to speak a bit about the webinar, I'll give the floor to our colleague from the steering committee, Anna.
Piotr, I think we are having some troubles because Anna is disconnected now, so she cannot join you for the presentation of the.
Okay.
Okay.
I see that.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk to her because I think she may have some troubles of connection. It wouldn't be so weird. She only wanted to tell us a little bit about the last webinar that we did, but maybe we can continue and she can join us after and explain it, because I guess it will be connection troubles.
Yes, okay, 1 second, because I also lost the sharing of the screen. 1 second. Okay, I get it. So back to the presentation. Maybe Anna will talk about it in a minute after she does. So and now another activity that we have is today's webinar, which I'm sure gonna enjoy because I know that a lot of effort was put into it, especially from IREN and the Spanish Rural Network, and I strongly encourage you to take active participation today. Okay, this is our network. And here, just briefly, because now we're running out of time in the network details. Like I mentioned, we have 7 different groups that you can all participate beside the steering committee, the steering group, because it is already elected and runs the network. You can choose whether you like to be ambassador, group leader, administrator, communicator, member, or mentor. The group of members are a group over the age of 30 years, and all under the age of 30 are the members of the other groups. I don't have time to talk about every group specifically, but you can find information on our website. Here you have the steering committee pictures and also ELARD representatives, because our network is run under ELARD, so European Leader Association for Rural Development. They're supervising our work, and that's why representatives from the steering committee of the ELARD are also here with us today and are all the time with us supporting our work. Where are we? You can find us and find information about our network on the webpage of ELARD in a special page directed only for us. Our Discord server, which has plenty of members, and on the Facebook of ELARD as well, you can find information about our network. That's it from me, and thank you. And so maybe if Anna is able to join, then I'll switch slide back to the presentation. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Piotr, for sharing with us the presentation of the network, and I hope that more members will join us after this. Since I see that Anna is not connected yet, I think we can continue, and then maybe once she reconnects, we can give her the floor. So from my part, we wanted to share with you the main results of 2 surveys that we did from the Spanish network, to see the real situation of young people in decision making. So I will share my screen. I hope that you will see it. Okay, so I guess it's good. So we did 2 surveys. The first one, okay, now the first one, it was a general one for all young people in rural areas and urban ones. And the second one, since we are a leader network, it was specific for youth in local action groups. If we analyze the results of the first one, the general one, we see that we got more than 300 responses from people from 18 years to 35 years. We know that it's always complicated to set a limit for the concept of youth, but since we are talking about decision making, we understood that when you are 40 years, you already have professional experience enough to be in this position. It wouldn't be so weird. So we set it up at 35. Then we got responses from all over Spain, especially from small municipalities, from 1,000 inhabitants to 5,000. Sorry, I'm having troubles to pass the slide. Yeah, so the most of them were working or studying and working, and even if there were some representatives from local action groups or even some entrepreneurs, the majority of them were hired by someone, especially enterprises and public administration, and their perception of autonomy is quite high. As you can see, between 3 and 5, the maximum was 5. Even if they don't have really high rates of participation in representation in events or even taking decisions. As you can see in the second chart, 58% of them do not take decisions in their entities. We asked them also about their interest in politics, because it's another way of participating in this shaping of rural areas. And even if normally we hear that young people are not interested in politics or in being a mayor, for example, actually their interest is quite high, especially in relation to local politics. But then they are not usually affiliated to these political parties, and even if they are, they don't usually participate in their meetings. In relation to volunteering and the affiliation to some NGOs, its percentages are quite similar between the participating and not participating, but it's true that the majority of them, more than the 50%, are not involved in these activities or spaces. If we go to the results of the second survey that we did, the one specific in leader and local action groups, to do this survey, they didn't need to be young, because the only thing that we wanted it was to know their approach to youth, and it could be even anonymous, just in case the numbers were not so positive. So here we got some responses less, but according to the numbers, usually the technical teams in local action groups in Spain are composed by between 1 and 6 people in total, the technical teams, including management. If we ask them about the representation of young people under 35 and under 30, we see a winner option that it's 0 people, but it goes between 0 and 2 people in technical teams. It's true that when they are part of the technical teams, they usually represent the lag in events. And at this point, we specifically asked about active representation, not only assistance to workshops or events. So this is a positive fact. Also, about the age of the LAC managers, as you can see, normally it's between 46 or 65. For the age of the LAC presidents or presidencies, it's more diverse. It's starting before at 26 and it goes over 65. About the board of directors, normally the number of members of this board of directors in the LACs in Spain are composed by 10 and 20 people. Inside these teams, the members under 35 and under 30, it's a little bit better than in the technical teams, but still it's around 0 and 4 people. But there is a little bit more presence in this political side of the LACs. If we ask them about the 4 main positions in the board of directors, there in the charts we can see that the majority of them are between 36 and 65. This big line that you see in the second chart is that normally the LACs in Spain doesn't have the figure of the second vice presidency. It's not like all the people are around beyond 65. actually all of the LACs that answered the survey are organizing some actions to get close to youth, like, for example, the roundtables or some specific funding for them, or directly hiring them. And there we put an example of a good practice in Asturias, the north of Spain. It's a project to reconnect generations for generational renewal in family business in rural areas through workshops and some mentorship that the LAC is doing. There are much more. There is a lot of good practices, but we put this one for you to know it. Also, we asked them about data, about the project led by youth in LEADER, and there is a huge variety between the LACs. So between 0 projects financed up to 34, as you can see there. The average budget in here doesn't have a lot of meaning, because we see that the projects can start from 8,000 euros and it can go up to 200,000 euros. So even if the average is 35, it doesn't have a lot of meaning, and it's the same for the new period. But actually, the majority of the LACs who answered didn't start to finance projects inside this 23-27 period. So I think we will have to wait to have more data about this. About the implication and participation of youth in the elaboration in their local strategies, they also do a lot of actions to get close to youth. And we also put there an example of a good practice, this time in the south of Spain, in Andalusia. The LAC is are visiting with the scholars examples of leader projects for them to feel involved with the territory since they are children. In this line, we ask them how important they think it is to incentivize this participation of youth in decision-making. And as you can see in the chart, everyone agrees, maximum put up 5. But this is interesting. As you may remember, last year, the EUCAP network organized the Young Leader Forum in Vierumäki in Finland. And one of the proposals that was made in the working groups to incentivize this participation of youth in decision-making was to establish a mandatory quota in the board of directors and even the technical teams. We asked them about the assessment, what they think about this proposal. And here, it's a little bit more diverse, the answers. There are people who agree. There are people who agree, but they think it will be impossible to achieve this indicator because there are not young people in their territories. And there are people who share the concern also that even if there are young people, they don't want to take an active role in this decision-making. So there is a lot of diversity of scenarios. We asked them too, if they didn't agree or if they disagree with this proposal, what they would propose to incentivize this participation. We saw that there were 5 items where we could collect the proposals. The first one is previous work. So all of them agree that it's important to start working while they are younger, and even with children, for them to feel involved with the territory since the beginning, because if not, they will never want to be part of the decision-making in the future. Also, the funding is key. A lot of them ask, for example, for a specific funding for LACs to hire a youth technician. Also, adapted activities, for example, events, attractive events linked with music, gastronomy, or culture, sports, etc. And to promote alliances and the youth associations, because they think this is key. And for example, more calls for youth association and more financial support for them. After this, what are our next steps? And I will finish with this slide. So we will try to summarize everything that we exposed today in our report. We will contrast these proposals, not only the proposals from the labs, but we received more than 200 from the first general survey. We will do one more exchange after the summer. This time it will be in Spanish, so we invite you to participate and to practice your listening. And we will keep also our communication campaign to make visible actually all the young people who are already in these spaces. So thank you. It will be, this is all for the presentation of the results. And I don't know if Anna is already here, if she could connect. Or if not, I don't see her, so maybe we can continue with the program and we can start with the first round table about youth in decision-making with Matias Rubio, Alexandra Nievchas, I hope I pronounced it correctly, Francisco Sanchez, and I will give the floor to Maria Jose, who will be the manager of the Spanish network, who will be moderating this table. So thank you everyone for being here and welcome. Maria Jose, we cannot hear you, and even Fran, we cannot listen to anyone.
Okay, sorry,
Okay.
sorry, I was muted. Good morning, Matthias, Alessandro, and Fran. Although I am not longer youth in age, I am youth in spirit, so I feel close to your reality. And I'm very pleased to participate in or to moderate that roundtable. Talking to the youth, I consider the turning point for starting to think about youth came after the European Youth in 2022. Since then, youth had been part of the heart, of the core of the EU policies. I think you must take advantage of that opportunity because the present and the future is yours. And of course, long life to Leader Youth EU. I'm part of the council and very proud how you are delivering and you are encouraging that network. As a Spanish network, we conducted a study in 2022, and the conclusion that to reactivate the return of youth to rural areas, they were based on two pillars. The active participation of young people in decision making, that we will address it in today, and the promotion of youth entrepreneurship. Maybe we will talk in another meeting. And if we really want to achieve a social, economic, and environmental transformation of our planet, of our society in general, no progress will be made if we keep on our young people anonymous and invisible. And today you are really visible. So I will start with the question, with the introduction of the three of you. And I will raise some questions and give total free to give your perspective and your values and whatever you want to share with us. We will start with Francisco Javier Sanchez. I will take maybe 2 minutes to name all the charts he has. He's a mayor of a municipality in Extremadura, Serradilla. He is the president of the local action group. He's the president of the regional network, the Extremadura, REDR, and is the treasury of our Spanish network. But today we will land into the ground, and I would like to talk to him as a local action group president. But please feel free to introduce yourself. Fran, starting with you.
Hello, good morning. I'm sorry, my English is poor. Greeting from Serradilla, a small village in Extremadura, one of the most rural regions of inland Spain. We don't have the sea of the beaches like in Ibiza or Barcelona, but we have something much better, Iberian jam. First of all, I want to greet my companions of the round table and thank the organization for inviting me and in opening these windows to Europe, because not every day the young major of Serradilla is here in other countries. I'm studying in my town, rural school, and I went to university to another small town with 40,000 population. Since I was 25, I have been working in a public life in different positions and responsibilities, all of them in rural areas. When I 25, I have been sorry. When I 25, I elected deputy mayor of my village, vice mayor. When I was 20.
Sorry, Fran. The connection is quite weak.
When I was 33, I was re-elected as mayor and also as the president of the 24 legs LAGs of Extremadura, through the leader regionals network. In these 10 years, I have married with Leticia, a village girl, and we have two children named Fabio and Camilo, who make their whole life in the village. As you can see, everything in my life is related with a hometown. I'm a big advocate of rural areas, where we live with a high quality of life, health, well-being, and happiness. It also offers a big space for young people like me to have the responsibility to be leaders and manage the public resource that heroes bring us.
Thank you, Fran, your long CV for the introductions. And Dzień dobry, Alessandra, go ahead. Let's ask.
Dzień dobry, hello. Yes, hi, my name is Alexandra, I'm coming from Poland. Yes, my story, quick story of my life. I'm also coming from rural areas, from a small village surrounded by forests and fields with, I think, 700 inhabitants. My journey, I think I was always active. I'm just coming from the active family. But I realized after time that also the environment was very important. My activism journey started in high school from skipping up classes because my friend...
We will let then people know.
But this is good practice. I promise this is a good practice that I'm sharing. My friend invited me for a meeting with Youth City Council, and she asked me if I want to join for an international project, and this is how it started. This is how I got involved in the Youth City Council, in non-formal education, in Erasmus Plus project. And now, me, myself, from being just the participant, I'm a coordinator in European Solidarity Corps voluntary work. And now I am supporting volunteers from rural areas from around the world, because it's not only European Union volunteers. So the circle has already made his round. Yes, maybe some more practices later, but this is just my quick story.
No, it's not. It's very active and very professionalism, and it's good to share with us. Go ahead, Matias Rubio from Spain. We have two participants from our country, from Spain. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Maria Jose. I don't know if you can hear me well.
Yes,
I
perfectly.
hope yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm Matias Rubio, and I would like to say that I'm here because I'm a bit freak, and we have not stopped insisting. So when I was not raised in rural areas, but when I was 21, I moved to a small village in north Spain, and when I moved there, then I realized the importance of including a youth perspective in the decision-making process. So access for housing, it's very difficult, as you all know, access for basic services, but also, and I would like to stop here because we have a big debate on this, the right that we have to go on a Friday and drink a beer with other young people in your village. It's many times very difficult in the places where we decide to live. And I think it's also important to be part of the decision making process as young people because we have our own perspective. And this is something that we need to put in the table, I think. So 5 years ago, I joined other young people that we were living around in the village, and we start a very small local organization, and we wanted to include this youth perspective in the decision-making process. So we knocked the door of the mayor, we knocked the door of the local action group, we started to dialogue with them, and since then we have not stopped. Even if many people told us that it was going to be impossible, you should go to Brussels or to Strasbourg to be part of the, at least to the European level of decision-making processes. But apparently, when you want to stay in your village, when you make connections with local action groups that they were helping us since the beginning, now 5 years later, we are part of the Regional Youth Council of I'm the treasury of the Regional Youth Council of Cantabria. We participate in working groups in the Spanish Youth Council. We have meetings with our municipalities, with ministries. Now I'm coming from a meeting with the Ministry of Culture yesterday. And as in my name, it says Advisory Council on Youth of the Council of Europe. Now is my second year of a mandate that it is incredible because beyond the results that we can speak later, if the recommendations and what we are speaking at the European level is being implemented in our villages, the process and the structures that we are implementing in the Council of Europe, referring into this, and I will explain later, Maria Jose, because this is the introduction, but the co-management system that we sit down with 46 member states and 30 young people, and we need to reach consensus on the texts that are affecting our lives. This is a very live example of what we really want to do from local to the European. And yeah, my next interventions will be around this, how connecting our right to have a beer in our village to co-create policy making papers with the Council of Europe or beyond.
I remember you when we met many years, and you started to collaborate with the LAC, Sahanansa LAC, and you were in Brussels. And I thought that Matthias will have a long career on that. Yes. So I can see that you're advisory council of the youth. Well, okay, very long name. Yeah. Okay. We will start with the round table and the questions. And firstly, it is leading to Francisco Javier. We cannot talk about permanent if we are not talking about employment. Is really important. What else can a local action group do to boost the youth participation in rural areas beyond the employment? How can you do it in your area, in your local action group? You have 3 minutes to explain us and to address that question.
Thank you, Maria Jose. We have been working for 10 years now from the City Hall and the LEGs for the people and especially young people to stay in your village. We are perfectly aware that there are two essential issues that make the people stay. Having a job and having a house to live in. And the first thing allow you to have the second, but it's also very important to feel integrated into the village life and to be part in decision making to benefit from service activities and projects. First, from the town hall, my team government is made of the people who were 25 or 30 years. When we start working, that gives use a young vision to any decision from city council. We promote an association of young people that carries or as kinds of cultural, sports, and leisure activities. We created local commissions that advise the city council where young people are included. We have improved facilities so that young people can study, take classes, play sports, or enjoy leisure time. We have developed an activity plan from all the years where you play a leading role both in the organization and in the delivery, because most of the activities are forbidden: sports, contests, festivals, travels, conferences, and from the LAG. Some steering committee members are used over 30. We have developed several projects, mainly I made for young people, specialty training and cultural projects. But the most important, thanks to LEADER, we have financed several private projects, restaurants, hotels, farms of agricultural cooperatives, factories, workshops, clinics, supermarkets, and many service companies where thousands and thousands of young people from Extremadura are working. And the majority of these young people who work in the village stay in the village. I'm totally convinced the takes developed in Serradilla from LAG is giving its results, and isn't me saying it's the data and the village reality. Our village has 1,000 inhabitants, and the school have 100 boys and girls from 33 and aiming at the peñas. Peñas is like big groups of friends. There are about 100 young people. I think these are very positive and encouraging figures.
Okay, if I were young, I would like to live in your village. You are out of metrics, because it is not common to have those numbers of young and childhood in the school and social active life in the rural areas. So yes, welcome. I encourage that you are still going to do that. Okay, let's talk to Alessandra. And you have both perspective, the European perspective and the rural perspective. And do you think that there are spaces currently to encourage the participation of the youth in the rural areas? And how you engage youth at both level, at the rural and local level and at European level? Could you please, do you have a communication plan in both sides? What do you think that should be the best way to engage and to encourage to the participation?
Yes, so from two perspectives, I can start from the rural areas that I started. I think the most important thing and the luckiest that we were was that we had a very young mayor. He was at some point the youngest mayor in Poland. And it really helped us because because our city, I'm coming from a village, but the biggest city next to it that I went, for example, to high school and then began the activism, has 50,000 inhabitants, was just aging. And the main aim of the president was to recreate the city as a city of youth. He was trying, first of all, by creating the Youth City Council, which didn't pop up from the first day. It was a long way. I think it was 12 years ago when he created it, but I can say that since 7-8 years, since I remember, it's going really well, and the generation of youth is changing and creating amazing things. So he had this role that he ensured that the Youth City Council and generally the youth of the city has this visible role, and it's not just the PR role for the politicians, but they are really deciding. Even if there are some meetings about the infrastructure of the city, they have their voice. The Youth City Council has their voice in it. Generally, I think he was always so supporting for any initiatives that they were creating, of the youth festivals, of anything that they can express themselves with. For the more older young adult, he was always supporting the small businesses and creating the places. There are a lot of new houses, a lot of new neighborhoods in the whole city, also the office places for them to create their own working space. And I think also what the city is the proudest at that moment is the youth center, where the youth has their headquarters, the Youth City Council, and they are hosting any kinds of events, if it's even regional or international. So just supporting, just giving them the possibility to decide and trusting them in it, and building those bridges through generation, because also cooperating with seniors. And also this is now when I want to say something about now my neighborhood, so the European vision is pretty much the same in our association now. When we have volunteers from all over the world, they are coming to my city for 1 year. Their hosting organizations are kindergartens, libraries, also some technical schools, but also museums. So they are really involved in the life of the city. The city also knows us, that we are the group with the crazy workshops, that we are traveling in the whole city, just to showing the cultures. And having this intercultural, I have now, I'm coordinating 20 volunteers from both European and non-European countries, and it's just giving this the spirit of the city. My city of Łódź, it's in the center of Poland, is generally also well known from its multicultural and also cinematic background. So it's giving it's all making sense. The cooperation, the just creating our things from from the scratch, but to the public community. What I loved the most this year was just that we had so many invitations for kindergartens, from schools, from high schools, because everybody wanted to participate in the workshops, in our events. So just sharing this diversity and just giving this opportunity to create their own things. It's for me the most important, I would say.
Thank you very much, Alessandra. And you highlight a strike point, a bullet point about building the bridges. Someone had to start. And as you say, it's not popping up easily, but you had to continue. Okay,
yes, it's never it will never be a big thing from the beginning. It's a hard work that we have to put in it, but it's very fruitful.
Yes, very fruitful. Okay, let's go to Matthias. Matthias, you were born in the rural areas. How you build the roots to keep and to maintain yourself in the rural areas? Are you seeing any difference for those who are living for the life they were born in there, or yourself? You keep the culture inside yourself and you keep encouraging the better life in rural areas?
Thank you, Maria Jose. I think to answer this, I will need to speak about Ventura, Mariuca, Mari, Geniuca, Manuel. I don't know, like all my neighbors that are beyond 70 years old. And I don't know, it's living here, they are your neighbors, and you need to just go and chat with them. And it feels like you are, let's not romanticize it so much, but it's like, I don't know, like I was not born in rural areas, and I started in Cantabria, and that's how I went to the Rural Pact with the former president Kundo also, and I've met Alexandra also in Kielce, I think, in the Rural Youth Parliament. Uh, um, but now I think I'm moving to Aragon, and there is a small village here, and it's the village of my grandmother. So I can see the difference when you are starting in a village that you have no link for families, and I think there's many young people that are going to other communities that they don't have a family root, let's say like this, but the key is just to speak with neighbors, is to be a good neighbor. I think that's how you get root in your village. But now that I'm starting here in this small village called Acerez in La Comarca de Daroca, it's even a smaller village than in Cantabria. And it's different because people here know my family, and people are like connected. They're telling me stories about my grandmother, and that's funny. So I think one of the points that I'm getting, and sometimes it's hard when you are part of this decision making process. You said with long names like Advisory Council of Europe, the Council of Europe, that we recommend to the Committee of Ministers public policies related to youth. How do you connect this language that we use in a bureaucratic level, in European level, with the language that you need to use with your neighbors to be rude, to be a good neighbor, to stay normal, let's say like this, to go on Friday and drink beers with your friend? And I think this is one of the key points that we need to work with, is how do we make it easy? How do we translate? And I think the key point, and Alexandra, as she's working with European Solidarity Corps volunteers, as we are also doing in La Verdad, or now that we are creating the Spanish Rural Youth Network that is called EPA, and we focus on Erasmus Plus, and we know why we need to use non-formal education, because the system many times doesn't reach all young people, so we need to invent new methodologies. So the same way we are using non-formal education, what we are proposing is that we use some kind of process and structures that we could call it non-formal politics or non-formal decision-making process. And this is one of the key roles that I was speaking in with the Ministry of Culture yesterday. And we say like how the culture mediation, these laboratories that reach local people, people that didn't go to the school, people that are coming from non-formal education, but also institutions, decision makers, very high level people. How can we reach them in a cultural framework that will allow us to express and to really say what we that we want to do it? And later on, how can we tell the institutions that these results will help us to create better public policies? And I think it's always a both side. And LAGs, local action groups, you could be in the middle. So because you are rooted in the territory, you connect with entrepreneurship, you help local organizations, but you are also working with institutions. You are in the European level, and I think we need to work as local organizations. How we reach more young people, how we translate the information, and you could be, and I think you are also doing it, this mediator with the institutions and how we connect ourselves, because at the end it's about bringing a youth perspective in the public policies. But beyond this, I think now that we have a backsliding in democratic and civic rights spaces, and for youth organization, it's been harder and harder to stay in this European context, that now we have far right moving farther in Europe. We need to ensure these democratic spaces, and I think it's something that we need to build together to allow more networks to happen, but also to have this connection. So I'm very happy to stay in my village. So now maybe Pili is coming to the street and she will say, "What are you doing, Matthias?" No, I'm with the computer in a network. but but that we can use this information to create better public policies.
Yes, you are true that to build a public policy is necessary to take the perspective, the bottom-up approach and the top-down. And in the middle, they have to talk. And to talk, it's true that we are talking always in a technician way, and it's difficult to translate those public lines to the society. But this is what we have to do. This is our job. Okay, let's do it. Let's continue. You will tell us later about the Spanish network that you are creating and start creating EPA. Okay, so we will go to the second questions. Please, we have to take into time. We have only 10 minutes in between the three. So go ahead and please be concrete. From what else, what actions, what interventions are you carrying out in your village as a LAG, as a mayor, to share with the rest? Because there are many activities that we would like to know more in detail. Okay.
Thank you, Maria Jose. In the last 6 years, where I have been president of my LAGs, I can highlight projects that are the actuality fixes now and repeat every years. Naturarte is a music festival and Naturate, and every year we bring 3 HIC level artists to 3 villages of the regions. So you enjoy the best live music in the free concerts of a small format, no more than 215 people and the middle of the nature. Monfragüe, a short film, is an amateur film festival only for young filmmakers. under 2025. There are several categories, and the jury is composed exclusively of young peoples. Life the Summer in Monfragüe is a summer program with several activities of culture, music, sports, with mainly young people participates. In addition to these projects, it is very important the work we do in providing training of all king and at all levels, from basic course of 100 hours related to constructions, the transport of metal industry, the 200 hours course to operate drones or drive special vehicles, or 1,000 hours course to become a professional football coach, for example. But if there are two projects with a great positive impact on young people, it has been the POPEX projects and the Young Dynamizer projects. The POPEX is a prospector or job seeker that has been working in every LAGs in Extremadura for 1 year, thanks to a regional government's grant exclusively to this purpose. We see how to identifying young people in the territory, working personally with them, and counseling them into adapted job. Thanks to POPEX, many young people from all regions found a job. And the Young Dynamizer is a similar figure to the previous one, also hired for 1 year thanks to the regional's government. But the rule was to have a more permanent and continuous contact with youngs in uses other than employment, scholarships, training possibilities, how to access housings, or to start business, bonus and discounts for young people, and also sessions on society, respect, values, addictions. As you can see, in my village, Serradilla, and well as in the LAGs, we have a priority place for young people. We are completely convinced that our immediate social and economic development, not even long term, depends on young peoples. In my case, it's easy to maintain this vision because I'm the first of those young people who need the continuous my life in my village. Although I recognize that it's not easy. Leaders funds are not easy. Bureaucracy is heavy. Regulation is complex. But we have to continue working, because if we don't, who will?
Yeah.
Who will?
Mm-hmm. Yes, if you don't, who will? And now, when we are participating in those roundtable, it's not only to say what is. It's very important to engage in between the three. In that case, I know that Serradilla is the best case, is a good example that can be extrapolated to other countries in Europe, even in Spain as well. So we have here the project coordinator European Solidarity Corps, that I think you have been listening to your colleague, Fran, and in the future I would like for you, both of you, to cooperate together and to spread out what you are doing as a European Solidarity Corps, that I love it, in Serradilla. So, okay. And now it's really important, the Young Dynamizer, the POPES project. It will be nice. It's all in all local action groups in Europe. We have that figure because it is necessary to boost the youth in the rural areas. And now the second question to Alexander. Sometimes we are here when in the young they are out to the cities to train, to work, to spend time. Mostly of they are not returning back. Is it not in your case that you are still in the rural area? Do you consider that this is compatible to be in both sides and is enrich both sides, and we don't have to be fear of that?
Okay, so I have to admit that I'm now living in the city, so the other way around, like Matthias. But I'm supporting. But now I'm working mostly with with the youth from rural areas. How it's the rural areas will be always in the heart, and it will never. I think that I will be back there soon. I just have some things to do here in the city, but I just feel this strong connection, and I hope that it's not just in my case, and the rest of the youth that I was telling before also feel this, that when you're starting to create something on your own in your small places, in your small rural areas, you feel this amazing connection to it. This is the passion, this is your thing. All of the initiatives they are creating, this is their work. The city can be a little fast sometimes, we know, so I think the safe space is always the rural areas that are allowing us to express ourselves. And it will be always like this. The thing that I mentioned before, it's just to creating this network. The environment is so important in this matter that it's not only that I was active and I liked to participate in or create some new things, but it's just the environment, the whole city, the whole also politics. Even if the mayor, I was probably involved in many cases in the city, he was always caring for us and always was in touch with the city council and generally with the non-formal groups that we were creating. So this is, I think that's it. Just support, trust, and this connection and network. Easy.
Yes, trust. Yes, trust is really important. We have to trust you, yes, and to encourage you. Okay. We have some, they are writing in the chat, and they say that they have some solution, universal solution, what you were explaining before, Matthias, about the education, politics, social matters. So maybe we will go later to give some solution what you are talking about right now. Matthias, last question. Because we have measured now, it doesn't mean that maybe we should measure how the youth is participating in decision making. Maybe 20 years ago it will be the same number. It's because we started to measure now, we realize that only 9%, it is 9% of youth is participating in the process of decision making in the local action group, but we don't know, we don't have any comparison when they started in 1991. But what do you consider is the lack of interest, or maybe because we don't disseminate that role, that this is that possibility for the youth enough, and this is because they don't participate? What do you consider should be better, a good solution to cheer them up, to make them participate in decision-making processes?
Okay, thank you, Maria Jose. Yeah, it might be the first time that you're doing this research, but I think there are other research speaking about how many youth associations are at rural areas. And I think we have a lack of youth associations in rural areas. And when I'm saying association, I'm saying like formal associations.
Yeah.
And this is when that's why why is it important when you are a group of young people, even in an informal way, that you are why is it important to go into a formal? It's because you can connect with lax, because you can connect with decision making, because you can connect with the bureaucratic world that at the end is the one who are affecting our lives. But I was speaking about the Spanish Rural Youth Network, EPA, and we have a big problem with this network because we have members, let's say, in 12 of our regions now in Spain, and we are growing and growing, but there are many of our members that they are not formal organizations. So there are a group of young people that they are like doing a lot of cultural activities, that they have budget, that they are speaking with the majors, that they are doing decision making process, but not in a formal level. So what we are telling them is like, okay, you can count on us supporting your informal group, but we also help you on creating a formal structure if you need. And I'm spending the last 5 months creating youth organization of young people, random young people that are in Palencia, in Castellón, or whatever, and they are like informal, and they're telling us, how do you become formal? So I think in this process, maybe we can match local action group and our network, saying like, we can reach these informal groups, and what in this process of becoming formal, let's contact them with the local action groups. In Aragon now, my region is the Giloca Gallo Canta, the ADRI,
Very
and
active in the youth.
very active. And
Yeah.
I've met Silvia Benedi in the first contact I had with her. It was in a village that there is, I think, 2 or 3 people living, and it was very close, the connection between the local action group and the cultural association. And I was impressed by this, how rooted is the local action group here. And then they have the lack of youth organizations. But what I was telling to Silvia and what we believe in EPA, that now it's not about including youth organizations, but recognizing that youth in many places in rural areas are already organized, maybe in an informal way, but we should recognize this. And we've been speaking about Erasmus and Solidarity Corps. Solidarity Corps have these solidarity projects that even if you are an informal group, you could apply. Erasmus Plus, you have some lines that even if you are an informal group, you could apply. So it is not something new. And maybe this is the key. So recognize that youth in rural areas are already organized, maybe in an activist way or cultural or party committees. I was speaking about beer in the first intervention, but I think the young people that are creating these party committees, that they are also already organized, and then match them and tell them why they should become formal and help them in this process. I think this is, I don't know if this is the key point, but at least what we like to say is there are reflections, because I was chatting, I think there is no a universal answer for rural development or rural youth organization, but we need to adapt our measures to every specific territory.
Yes, you are true. There is not any answer universal, but it's true that we have to disseminate much more what we do, and in order to attract more people in general, youth and other more people in the rural areas. And thank you, the 3 of you, for your inspiring words, for your activism, for your you are changing the narrative. We didn't have time to talk about the positive or negative when we are talking about the rural areas, but the 3 of you are changing the narrative for beating on a permanent living in the rural areas, for loving the rural areas, and we need more people as you are. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
So thank you, Alexandra, Matias, Fran, Maria Jose. Thank you everyone for being here. I forgot to tell you, but of course you can write your suggestions, proposals, or questions or in the chat, or there is another tool for questions and answers in the banner down. So since we don't have a lot of time, we can go directly to the second roundtable with Emma El Aouni from France, Vladimir Dedic from Croatia, me, Glimjoa from Sweden, I hope I pronounce it correctly, and Annie Lismark is another one of the coordinators of the Leader Youth Network, and she will be moderating this table. So welcome everyone, and you can start whenever you want. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you so much. So hi everyone, and welcome to this second panel of today. And we will share experience of youth in local action group. And as Irene told you, my name is Annie Lismark, and I will be moderating this panel. And we will hear from inspiring young people that is involved in local action group across Europe. And in the next 30 minutes, our goal is not only to share concrete experience, but also to inspire more young people to engage in shaping their future in rural communities. But we will start with a quick round of introductions and then dive into two focus discussions. So let's begin. Vladimir, do you want to start with the introduction? I think you're muted right now, if I...
Hi, good day. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you for your invite. My name is Vladimir Dedic. I'm the president of local action group Bura. We are located on the middle on the Adriatic coast in Croatia, so near Zadar. Maybe you hear about it. So at the moment I'm working. I'm the owner of the company, which are based on producing in agriculture, and we are selling our products into tourism, and we have a restaurant. On the beginning, 2014 to 2019, I was a log manager, and I was traveling around Europe. And when I finished my college, I finished management business administration for tourism and specialist student for food and beverage management. So I was traveling and trying to find something what will be interesting for me. The log at the moment was a great option because I learned how to be patient, because Croatia went to European Union 2013. So the paperwork and the stuff what you need to do that you can applicate with your strategy. So my experience in log helped me to build my company today. Today I have 12 employees. So we have traditional products. For example, we're producing wine, liquors, schnapps. Then we have traditional Croatian, traditional dry pork meat. We're producing jams, olive oils, and this stuff, and everything are served in our restaurant where I'm sitting at the moment. I'm the chef in kitchen for now, and when I saw what people doing around Europe, I came back home 2019, got quit in the log, and I told to myself I'm stupid because I have more than everything what I need to make my product. And then starts this story. That's just a few information about me. In my log, we are a team of 3 persons. So the log manager are Ana Škara, and Josip Šare is her assistant. I'm at the moment they are the frontmans. I'm just I'm the checking point. This is my work at the moment because I don't have so much time to organize everything. And thank you for now.
Thank you so much. I need to visit your restaurant one day in my life, I feel like. And then maybe we can go to me, Glimsjö.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, and hello everyone. I'm Ingrid Sjö. I'm part of a youth decision board of Leaderlinje Småland. I'm currently a full stack developer, and my start with LAG and this rural youth development journey started with my own nonprofit organization that I'm part of as the treasurer, where I wanted to create more youth activities and create a community for youth where the loneliness and exclusion feeling is lowered, because that's a very huge problem where I live right now. And in starting to create activities for other youths, I came in contact with Leaderlinje, and they told me about this youth decision board, and I have been with them since fall last year. So it has been a very great journey, and I look forward to being here today.
Great, thank you so much, My. Should we go on to Emma?
Hello, I'm Emma. I work in a lag in Normandy, so northwest of France. It's quite a big lag. We have almost 200 villages and 200,000 inhabitants. And as we wrote the application for the new leader program, we realized that in our work, because our lag is hosted by a natural park, we work a lot with children around education, around nature, but we do not work with teenagers. So from 13 years old to 17 years old. And as we were writing the new leader program, we said we could organize a youth council for leader that could also vote on the projects as the committee members do. So in 2023, we started to build our youth council, and now it is in place. It is working. It was not easy at first, but we have found a partnership with a local high school who is very helpful, and the teachers are also very helpful. So we are very happy with what we did.
Great, wonderful to hear. I think that we should start the discussion round one. And we have two questions, and you can choose if you want to answer both or just one. What can be achieved through logs when it comes to youth participation? And what specific actions or measurement has your log implemented to involve young people? And I think we take the same order as before. So Vladimir, do you want to start? And also briefly introduce us to your region, how many people
Okay.
are municipalities and stuff like that.
Okay, our lag are made from 9 municipalities. We have around 25,000 inhabitants in our region. We are in Zadar County. As I told, it's middle of Adriatic coast, and we are specific because our region we have Adriatic coast, mountains, and rural area. So we have all three areas in one region, and at the moment, mostly Anna and Josip, they are managing all projects, and they are organizing everything about people who are involved in our programs. We had a few projects. For example, we had one project in municipality Versi, where we Anna write it from the project was green something, if I good remember, and the point where that we organizing that inhabitants make something like a park that they are involved to build it up, and that's the whole project that is sustainable for example, that they are something like sharing economy. So they are working, they're working, they planting, and later they pick up the fruits. I think was figs and more something. I'm not sure. I don't remember it past few years ago.
It was figs, fig orchard with different.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Anna. Then in our strategy, we made a project. We had a measure for municipalities, and mostly they were invest, for example, for one municipality invest for stuff for kindergarten. Then one municipality made, two municipalities made like a children park. Then we had so many things. So we have more than 50 projects which we were invest, and we didn't been only on log applications. We trying to always to applicate on another funds. So, for example, Josip made a project. It was about I'm blocked now. I blocked. Josip, if you can help me when you write for Zadar County, we had a project about when we involved youth. It was in our nature park. So we have national park in our region. It's named Paklenica. It was something about birds, if I remember.
Yes, I made that project. It was about children who didn't see the national park of Paklenica, and we did a group visit there. They met with the guides there. They learned about the birds. We had games there, and for some of the children, it was their first time to see the mountain, even though they live close, but they had no means to go there. So it was quite exciting day for them and for us to be there with them.
Thank you, Anna, for help. And Josip made about olives. So I just write it in a chat. So many projects. So I'm mostly in my company, and I'm volunteer in a log like a president, and it's so many informations. So I trying to remember everything, but in last month I'm collapsed with my brain. So a little bit stressful. I had a daughter, it's 2 months now, so less sleep and things to do in my company. So, but it's going well.
Yes, it's understandable, and it's nice to see that you have all of your colleagues like close to you, so you can talk to them. I like this when Anna appears and people writing in the chat. So it's really nice.
We are a team.
Yeah, it's really nice to see. I feel like I have some summer feelings. I want to end my work as well. So I'm a bit tired, but maybe we should go on with one question, Vladimir. Do you have a youth council in your log or not?
At the moment we don't have, so we planned, but I don't know what to say. At the moment, we don't have it. So we were made application for Erasmus, I think. It was involved about youth. And we are working now on one corporation project. It will be with logs from Croatia. And our point is that make something like association of youth producers of olive oil. So this is something like, so it's now we are talking about it. We just started 1.5 months before. So I don't have so many informations about it. We just start with SWOT analyze.
Great.
Thank you.
Then we have one log without a youth council, one with, and then one person from a youth council. So it's really nice to have different perspective. Yes. So Naomi, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. So our log is responsible for 7 municipalities, and there are approximately 134,000 residents if we only count the rural areas. And for us, our main task and our main objective is to encourage other youths to take incentive to create communities, places where they can meet up, activities. So that's our main part, and we also go out to workshop to encourage youth. And it has been very helpful. We have increased the youth participants, not in our board, but in the rural areas that create events and meeting places, organize activities and stuff like that. A lot the past 6 months. I believe we went from about one small project to 3, almost 4 projects a month. So that is what we do, and I'm really happy to see other youths being more encouraged and feeling happy with their community.
It's wonderful to hear your work, and it's going really fast. I feel like only been going on for a short time, but you can see the results even now. It's really fantastic. Do you have projects found just for young people, like smaller things like checkar? I don't know if you have those.
We have grants for smaller youth projects.
Really nice. Yes, thank you, Mi. Then we can give the floor to Anna.
Yes, so as I was saying, my lag is quite big. We are a former industrial area between 2 big cities, but mostly rural. And with our youth council, what we achieved is that first, our committee has to hear their point of view before they vote for each project. And we have found that most of the time they have the same point of view. They have the same critics and about the projects without knowing, because we read the point of view of the youth after the project applicants leave the room before the members vote. And so they have to take it into account, and most of the time they do. If the youth council doesn't like the project, then they will vote accordingly. And also they have to hear other point of views that they didn't think about, because they can have questions that the older members don't think about, like, well, how will your project engage with the young people of your village? Will you create a space for the young people in your village to come together and hang out? And we realized that for the young people in the youth council, which are only girls, because only girls wanted to be in the youth council, we did small retrospective, because some of them are graduating this year from high school, and they realized that they took into account their territories when they did their point of view of the projects. They didn't think, oh, I like this project, or I don't like it because it's just like that. But they had it to take into account their territories and what their territories needed. And they realized that it was more complicated than just you like it or you don't. But what does your territory need? What does your rural area need? And they took it really seriously. They were really proud to be involved and to feel important and listened to. And that the committee every time has the same point of view and agrees with them if they felt really validated in their opinions. And concretely, how did we do it? At first, we just sent out flyers everywhere and it didn't work. No one applied. So then we went to a local high school because the director of the high school was in our the LAG committee. And she said, okay, you can go in class and present the project first to the teachers to see if some teachers are interested. Then we had 2 teachers interested. And then we went into the classrooms to present the youth council. So we went back to high school and we had 6 interested teenagers, so only girls. And so we did a project for 2 years with them. And before presenting any leader project, we did some acclimatation about what we were talking about. So visits to actors of change, farms, entrepreneurs, natural visits, bird watching, bees watching. And we did a small game about projecting yourself into your utopia, your futuristic, your optimistic future. So they had to imagine a perfect world in a few years and then decide how they achieved it. And so yeah, for like 6 months, we only did visits and games and things like that. And then after we started to introduce the leader projects so that they would know what the territory was like and what it needed. And now we decided to stay with the same high school, but that the youth council would be a 2-year project because we need time to acclimate them. And yeah, so we are starting again in September with new young people because the first 6 are now graduating high school. And actually the youth council is has a grade. They are graded for their graduation if they participate. So it's another motivation for them to come.
Yeah, I think you have given like really concrete suggestion on how to start like this youth council. And I like that you are working a lot with them, like visiting the territory and like work with them as a group. I think that is wonderful. And I work with communication and I totally understand that nobody like applies through flyers. It's really sad because you have designed them really long and you like them and they are really pretty and nobody wants to go. So I feel like face-to-face interaction is really good. Yes, and now we will go to the next part. And we have a question about your opinion about how we ensure general review role in rural areas. Is not the easiest word. And not only in agriculture, but also in other economic sectors. Should we do the same order again? Vladimir, do you want to start?
So we are a touristic area, and mostly basis of our trades and companies are made in tourism, hotels, restaurants, accommodations, and this stuff. And we are a rich region about the agriculture. Our economics, so I will say my opinion, what I'm thinking. To be successful, how to say, the green thing, what is presented by EU is a good point, but we must know that the point and secret of successful, in my case, are to be together, family, and trying to organize everything like local stuff. Economics in when we're talking about economics, so we have crafts, for example, what people making from, for example, from the olive wood or some stuff from, for example, from glass. We have a museum of glass in Zadar, in a city. then everything is organized and everything are working, but mostly because of tourism. I think my thinking is that in a case that we are in another region where we don't have so much tourists, it will be something different story. And for next generation, I will say in my case, so we are trying to working. Our service are made from 90% of local products. So I'm buying only stuff what I must buy. But for example, fish, meat, meal, everything are made local. And for example, stuff what I don't have local here, when I'm going to working on my farm in continental part of Croatia, which are 400 kilometers from Zadar, I'm working there with locals, small producers. For example, lamb and just a moment, I start mixing English and German language because half of my work are English, half are on German language. Lamb and wheel. We, for example, we buying from one farm which are located in Davor. It's middle of continental part of Croatia, and the management of this farm are my generation. I'm 35, so two brothers. They took from father farm, and they were applied on EU funds, and they made butcher shop, and they have all stuff what I need. For example, when I ordering from them, they are preparing for me today for tomorrow. I'm not going to the market and thinking how old is this meat, for example. Then meal. I'm ordering too that they make production for me, and every time are coming fresh. For fish, for example, now it's I must go at 12 o'clock. I need to pick up fish for today and tomorrow. So you must organize everything. And I think when the problem are that mostly my colleagues are thinking that simply is not always the best. I think with it that you are going to the market and buy stuff. What do you need? This is maybe hardest way to the success, and the problem are that small farms can't produce enough with the same quality for a big organization, for example, hotel or something like that. I think that our municipalities are good involved in the organization of all crafts and trades what we are having in our LAG area, and they are trying to make fairs in the summer season. I think that every village has minimum one to three fairs in 1 month, where can people sell then products. So I think that I got the point. What did you ask me? You think about it, or
I think it's great, and I like that we should focus on local productions and local people, and you need to do something by yourself to get
yes, the most important thing that we all must live from our work. So before war, I'm young, I don't remember this stuff, but in 90s in Croatia we had a war. Then we had a socialistic system, and it's a long story. But I remember when I was a child, everyone was always talking, you can buy better product from another country. For example, that I don't make now sponsor of some brand. For example, sneakers or something, but forgot who we are and what we are having. And I think the result of things what is happening today with quality of stuff, then the quality of food what we are having, that this thinking that someone is always doing better that we can do the best quality and the best quality and the best the word. You don't need nothing if you have everything at home. So how to explain? We need each other, but I think that this is only my opinion. But I think that we should be basis on our stuff, and we need to learn from each other. So I will say on my experience, I was traveling around the Europe, from Sweden to Cyprus, from Romania to Portugal. And I saw so many things, so many great ideas, which were helped me to build my product. And I think that my opinion will be that we need to learn from another people, but the basis should be local. Because when you, for example, if I come to Sweden, I want to try something local. I want to see how do you live and this stuff. And I think that will be all from me, because I'm start to losing my mind.
Thanks so much, Vladimir. I think that was a good conclusion. Mia, do you have something to add in this subject?
Yeah, a little bit. I can only speak from my rural area in Sweden, but we have lots of agriculture, we have lots of industries, and we are generally a very rich place. The issue is, what I can see is, instead of investing that money in like the rural areas, it goes to the larger cities. And so whilst the jobs are in the rural areas, people find it more enjoyable and better to live in the cities. So things like hospitals and education starts to close down in the rural areas in favor of expanding in the larger cities, which is a very large problem, because part of the hospitals where I live, they have closed down a lot of the essential things like intensive care. They are trying to close intensive care down, and the closest hospital would be an hour away, which if we all know the stuff that can happen in medical emergencies, an hour is far too long. So that's the issue we are experiencing in our rural areas, is that people do not invest, or rather they invest in larger cities instead of the small ones. So with our incentive, we're trying to build the reason to live in the rural areas up, so that the states can start to invest in the hospitals and education in our rural areas again.
Thank you so much, Mia, with your perspective. I think it's, I think that services should exist on rural areas, of course, as well. Emma, do you have something to add?
Yes, could you please repeat your question? I didn't understand it.
Then, yes, I'm just going to move up in my notes. Your opinion about how we can ensure general review in rural areas?
Okay. In our lag, the issue is the lack of affordable housing. Because we are under 2 hours away from Paris. So a lot of people who work in Paris come and buy houses in our lag, which raise the prices because those who live here don't have the same income as those who live in Paris. So also we have a lack of rental housing. It's a lot more about buying houses, which young people cannot do. Not anymore. So yes, so first would be the lack of affordable housing and the lack of job opportunities as well. So if you work in a lag, you are kind of the exception of being able to work in a rural area if you have been to university and want a qualifying job. In our lag, mostly the population is working class. They work in the big industries that are around the lag, and then they work in agriculture. So if you don't work in industry or agriculture, you have to go to the city every day to work. And yeah, as Matthias was saying earlier, the lack of other young people to hang out with, have a beer on Friday night, things like that. People come more to our lag when they are older and having children. But mostly in our lag, people are retired. So we have an aging population, less and less medical services, and more need for medical services as the people are aging. And we are thinking about doing intergenerational housing in our lag, helping municipalities and villages to build intergenerational housing. It's not easy. Not everyone wants to try it. But these are some solutions we are thinking about doing more intergenerational for young people and aging people.
It sounds really interesting. I want to hear more about the intergenerational housing at this some time, but I feel like we have spoken a lot. I like this panel a lot as well. And thank you so much for participating and sharing your experience so openly. And now I will stop talking so that we can go on with the webinar. Thank you so much again.
So thank you everyone for sharing your experiences and also these concrete examples on how to achieve the direct involvement on youth and some shared troubles, because Emma, I think the access to the affordable housing is shared by all the countries that are here represented today. Yeah. So thank you everyone. We ran out a little bit of time, a lot. So we were going to have now a little space for answer the questions to the speakers, but for the moment it's true I didn't see any question in the chat apart from the comments that we have already answered. So and yeah, of course we will share all the presentations with the assistants, with the participants, and the video of the webinar because we have been recording it. So I think that since Anna couldn't join us at the beginning and she prepared a little intervention to explain us how it went the last webinar about mental health of the youth leader community, maybe you can take a few minutes now to explain it. And then if there is some question, we do it. And if not, we will say goodbye to everyone. So Anna, the floor is yours now.
Thank you. I posted the link with the brochure from our last webinar in the chat. So I'll just do it really quickly with some notes. On March 13th, as the member of the steering committee, together with the steering committee colleagues, we organized a webinar on culture and well-being in rural communities. It focused on mental health, well-being, and unique challenges faced by rural youth in Europe, particularly regarding to access to mental health services. And it has been a growing public health concern in Europe, with rural areas facing greater challenges due to isolation and limited resources compared to their urban peers. We had a speaker, Veronica Rasic, MD from Wales. She's also a consultant for the WHO organization. She spoke of mental health of young people in the community. We also had another speaker, a psychiatrist from Croatia, who was voted the best psychiatrist for the last 3 years. He spoke on bridging the rural divide in Croatia and how telehealth is improving access to mental health care for rural adolescents and youth. And Dr. Moravec and me actually wrote together a review article that you can see in the ELARD brochure I posted. It's in the chat, and basically the brochure you can find all the key challenges and the proposed solutions for that topic, which is concerning a bit nowadays when it comes to our research. So that's like the short version. So now we are out of time. And if you have any questions, feel free.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Anna. I don't know if you have any question. Don't be shy. You can write it in the chat. We can still have like 2 or maybe 5 minutes more to answer the questions. And even if some of you would like to participate directly, not only written by a written question, it's also possible. So you can raise your hand and we can give you small space. So yeah, I see a question from Quentin, I guess from France. So maybe Jorge, maybe we can give him access. Jorge, ¿podemos darle acceso para que haga la pregunta? I'm not sure about this. We will wait some more seconds because I thought it was possible.
Just one moment.
Okay. Thank you, Jorge. Technology, yes. You have some seconds more, Contant, to think about your question. And the rest, you think about some more that you can make to our speakers.
You can hear me? Or
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, you cannot see me. It's okay. It's not a problem.
Okay.
No, I mean, I just wanted to say thank you very much for organizing this conference online. I think it's a great opportunity for leader, for the youth. I mean, well, just I can introduce myself. I'm a young elected politician in the Loire Valley. I'm doing a program at the committee of the at the committee of the regions as a young elected politician as well. I'm a vice president of the LAG. I wanted to say, we have to keep doing what we are doing. Youth is the future, leader is the future. So we are matching together to keep forward to what we do. So thank you for all the presentations. Europe is future, of course. My question was, because I think it's a great initiative, when I saw the starting of this initiative, leader with youth, what next? So it's great. We can exchange our experience. We can talk. So do you know what will be the next meetings? Do you think we can meet physically, online is great, but I know it's not so easy. So yes, if you have an idea, maybe you don't know, but maybe you know. So thank you very much again.
So thank you. I think I can answer that. Thank you, Quentin. I didn't see your image, but I think we already met in some event of leader. So yes, I think as you said, we can always talk, but it's nice to speak about the following steps. So from the part of the Spanish network, we will do another exchange after the summer. This time it will be in Spanish, but it will be also related with youth and decision making, and also the elaboration of the strategies for territorial development. it will be really nice to make it a physical event, but it requires funds. So for the moment, it will be online. But of course, it's always better to meet, as we did in the last Congress in Finland. And also from the Leader Youth community, there is still one more webinar that we will organize. I guess Annie is there to correct me, but also after the summer. And it will be related with youth associationism, youth in associations in rural areas. And yes, and it's also important, I would say, to involve everyone, because this generational renewal doesn't depend only on youth. It involves everyone. That's why we said it at the beginning, that it was a really positive point that here today we are people from 18 years up to 67. So this is really positive, because in renewal you have two sides that are involved. So yes, I don't know if we have some more questions, so thank you, Contable.
Gracias.
De nada. You can practice your Spanish in the following webinar. It will be September, October.
When it will be in September?
No idea yet. At the end of September, probably. You mean the one from the Leader Youth Network or the one from Spanish?
No, from the youth network.
So maybe Annie, you can, no. At the end of September, maybe October, yeah. So we have another comment that the Europark conference, it's in September in Lithuania, and it's trying to be more accessible to youth with discounting prices if you can find funding. Yeah, I think funding is always a problem, that's for sure. I don't know if someone else would like to share some or comment or suggestion or question or proposal for the following webinar. If not, I think maybe we can close. It was a real pleasure to be with all of you. This is an example that there are youth in decision-making, there are youth in rural areas, there are youth in local action groups. So these kind of encounters and spaces make it visible. And I think all of us agree that this is also really important. So thank you everyone for joining us today, and we see you in the next one. Yeah, and Annie said, don't forget to register to the Leader Youth Network. So yeah. So
thank
see
you so much. See you.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.